This is Robin here at HorrorHound Film Festival in Indianapolis, and I'm with the cast, the writer and director of Clown Fear. How's it going, guys?
Going great. It's great to be here.
Amazing. This is a fun festival. Well, festival and with convention, right? Yeah, so both. It's amazing.
Do what they say.
We're pretty excited to hear.
Let's go, Neem. How'd you come up with the idea with a little comedy and a little violence of some crazy clowns?
Yeah, what happened was that I went to another screening that someone took me to in LA, at Raleigh Studio, actually. And I was watching this clown movie, and I was expecting it to be a horror film. And the whole time, it was very, very subdued. And this woman was actually in the movie was afraid of clowns, but there's never any killings, there's never any nudity. There's really nothing except for they're just building suspense. And every time when the suspense was over, I was so disappointed because I was like, okay, this is a horror film. You know, and I'm not afraid of clowns, so it was more like watching a drama. And nothing would ever happen. So that inspired me to do a comedy horror film it's basically an homage to the 80s, a slasher movie.
Yeah, it reminded me of one of those films. I'd be at a mom and pop store and seeing the cool cover and all of it. You remember the cool covers? And I'd be like, oh, I got to pick this up. It was kind of like one of those like popcorn type of flicks.
Yeah, I think that was the idea of to bring something like that back from the 80s and 90s. And have it so the audience can enjoy. Because, again, there's new films now that have a different take on violence and horror, and this is like a nice return to that era.
Now let's go to you. You're the main clown, the one I wanted to hate so much. I mean, you nailed that role pretty good. You got my attention. You did your job.
Thank you. If you hated me and you were scared of me, I really did my job. I have almost every role I've got in films I play. I don't know why I'm typecast. I'm a super nice guy, but I played like a psycho, a killer, and I think that's the biggest of the bad characters I played. It was so much fun. There's times in that movie that I would see my performance and go, oh my God, where did that come from? I'm up there beating my daughter's boyfriend with a baseball bat, and I'm like, where is that me? So it's fun to play the villain, and I love it. I love the fact that you hated me. So cool.
Now, what was it like to work with the actress who played with your daughter, Kat?
Kat was awesome. I have a daughter, so I know the dynamic of being a father to the daughter. I'm not that kind of father to my daughter really, but Kat was great. I loved working with her. We kind of had like a father mother with Darcy too, a father mother daughter bond through the movie, and off camera. So I even when I talked to her every once in a while, like, hey, how's my other daughter doing? So she was great. Kat was great. Darcy was great. The whole cast was great. Everybody was great.
Now, Ming, how'd you come up with the clown end? Did you make that?
No, what happened was that there is the actual clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada, and it's one of those things I heard about, and then I had one of my co-writer Sadie was calling me and said, hey, I'm going to go out and check out this town and see this motel. So that was the entire inspiration of doing a clown motel, movie. And then what happened was that originally we were going to film at the clown motel, but then there was right before we released this one, or we're actually ready to start the production, we found out that someone else has just shot a movie called, I think it was called Clown Motel, and it's actually out of there.
Yeah.
And we watched the movie and said, we cannot do another clown movie at the hotel because basically we're copying what they're doing. And so we thought, okay, let's get our production designer. And I was happy to get a really good production designer on board. His name is Chad Quick, and he actually sat down and designed the entire all the rooms, the motel. So we were very fortunate to actually create our own world, and yeah.
So how much fun did you have on there? And you could have made that shot with that baseball.
I know. I blame the director. I was forced to miss it because I got some sweet throwing skills. But I did. I had a lot of fun. I'm Lola the clown in the movie. And she was cute, and I think she was supposed to be like one of those maybe transitional, like she wasn't like really that mean-hearted inside, but maybe we'll find out in the next one.
Yeah, in the next one.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Absolutely. I think
So there's a sequel. Sorry.
yes. There's a sequel we're working on. Hopefully, we'll start production next year, early next year, let's say. But yeah, I mean, Lola was great. She actually is out of Vegas, and she came in for the filming of Clown Fear.
Yeah.
the
We
first one.
knocked it out. My day of shooting was one day.
Yeah, it was one day, and it was great because it was, it's nice to have you come in town and be part of the crew and see what we were doing, because we had a pretty big cast, for Clown Fear, as well as a big crew. And we were talking earlier in the Q&A. We had, amazing trailers. I had, trailers for everybody. We had the huge makeup rooms. It was like one of those huge production. I was going, with the first day I came on set, and there's like 10 trucks. Production trucks. We're looking at, makeup, wardrobe, craft service, and I was going, holy smokes, what are we doing here?
It was big.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to to step on the set like that.
There's this certain scene in there. I talked to you before the showing. Was the scene where the groom and his best man were driving the middle of the road, and they see that big, tall, scary clown rubbing that rabbit in a weird sexual way. That just got under my skin, and it just freaked me out.
Yes, that was actually a weird scene for us too, because the way it was written, of course, is like they're driving through the desert, and all of a sudden, because they're looking for his bride who ran away, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere in the desert, there's this clown that just comes out of nowhere, and he's holding on. And this clown, he's like 6'7". This guy's huge and really muscular, and he's petting a white rabbit, which is kind of odd, kind of freaky. And then, of course, I'm not gonna give it away, but he does something to the rabbit, and it's very, very scary and spooky. And we ended up using a real rabbit. No animals were harmed during the filming of this movie.
And all the kill scenes you did were pretty brutal, and I liked it because you did it practical. You didn't use no CGI or any trick shots. I just loved the practical part of it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was the choice that we wanted to go with, because we had the choice of let's use a lot of CG and just speed things up, and we can do everything in post. But for me, as a director, I just like to be able to have it filmed, and that way, if we need more CG, we can always add it. But if we, if we're planning on doing a lot of CG, it just doesn't look as good. And I think it just, I think it enhances. And sure, we went through a lot of blood and a lot of different clothing, but that's part of filmmaking.
All right, I got one more question for you. How'd you like wearing that blue dress?
The blue dress. Oh, I loved it. It went perfect with my beautiful hair. The blue dress was such a joke for the whole thing. I did like wearing the judges. The hair.
The wig. Yeah.
If he would have, the wig was great.
Yeah.
If you would have had me wear the blue dress, I probably would have. That's how happy I was to have that role. So. Yeah, I wouldn't have looked as good as the girls. Well, maybe better. I don't know.
I don't know.
So, what is some of your next projects you can be doing?
Yeah, we have, of course, Clown Fear 2 that we're working on right now, and then I have 2 more horror film up and coming. Mm-hmm. So one is basically about a baseball girl, a girl that's playing baseball actually in a boys team, and it's a kind of a horror / thriller. And then the other one is about Native American horror folk. It's like I guess it's a folklore type of film. It's called what is it? Skin Crawler. Yeah. So I'm excited. So hopefully we'll try to shoot everything and get everything out by next year. So
where can they find you on social media?
Instagram or IMDb. Look up Marv Blauvelt. Everything's there. I don't do Facebook. I'm on there, but I don't really do it much. And you can look up my film. I've done some really terrible movies, and I've done some really good ones. So I'll let whoever sees them be the judge of what.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Minh Collins, MINH Collins, Minh Collins. Basically, that's it. Or I'm on Facebook as well, but I don't use that as much, and Twitter, but barely. So.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram as well. My handle is LC like what. So.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.